Hello there, I'm Corel Painter Master Aaron Rutten, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to export content from my custom workspace into your own custom workspace. So if there's something you want in my workspace, like just my brushes or just the particle brushes or just the shortcuts, but you don't want anything else and you just want to bring this palette or these brushes into your custom workspace, that's actually pretty easy to do. So I'll go ahead and show you how to export everything. You're going to want to export everything into one folder that's easy to find, that way you can get to it later. So with my workspace loaded into Painter here, I'm going to go to Window, Custom Palette, Organizer. Now these are all the custom palettes I have. There's my particle brush palette, my shortcuts palette, and all the palettes for my brushes. So I have to go to each of these, click on the palette, and go to Export. Then I want to export it into a folder that I'll be able to find later. And you want to give them all the same names. So I have blending, hose maker, image hose, particles, and so on. Go ahead and save each of those. And when you're finished, click Done. Next, we want to export the brushes. So we'll go to the brush selector, and down at the bottom is my category for all of my custom brushes. We'll select that. And then we'll choose this icon here in the top right of the brush selector. And we'll go to Export, Brush Category. We'll save that as a file. If you wanted to just export the nozzle libraries on their own, you can go to the nozzle libraries palette and click on this top right icon. You can go to Export Nozzle Library. You can pick each of the libraries and export those. If you want to export the papers, you can go to the Paper Libraries palette, click on the top right icon and go to Export Paper Library. If you want to get this organismal textures that I have here that doesn't normally come with Painter. And if you want to bring in content from Painter X3 or Painter 12, like brushes and paper from legacy versions, you can follow the same process by clicking on the top right icon and exporting all of the content that you want to move into Painter 2015 from Painter X3 or older versions of Painter. Next, we'll be importing all of this content into a new workspace or your own custom workspace. It may be helpful to take a screen capture or a photograph of how these palettes are set up. That way, if you're starting from scratch, you'll know which palettes you'll need. And then to simulate how this would work importing it into a new workspace or a pre-existing workspace, I'm going to go ahead and clear this workspace. I'm going to go to Window, Workspace, and then Default. This will put it back to how Painter loads when you very first install it. Alright, so my workspace is reset to default. And what I'm going to do to bring in all of that content that I exported from my custom workspace is I am going to go to Window, Custom Palette, Organizer, and I'm going to go to Import. I'll go ahead and locate that folder where I saved all of that content. I saved it here in Palettes, so I'm going to start with the Blending palette, go to Open, and then I'm going to continue importing the rest of the palettes, and then click Done. Now it's a little annoying that they all come stacked in the corner here, so they're all basically on top of each other, so you have to separate them. Just drag them by the gray bar here to move them off of each other. And then you can just put them wherever you want. If you want to organize them again, how I had them before, I had it rendering, and then blending, I'm going to drag it by the tab, and wait till I get this blue line below the rendering palette, and put blending embedded in that palette. You may need to drag in the center here towards the bottom to expand the palette and drag it down if you're not seeing all the brushes. It may be easier to drag the bottom first and then move it. We have the image hose, we'll move that by the tab and nest it in there. I don't use this palette, I'm going to close that. And then we have image hose maker that needs to go next to image hose. So hover till you get the blue line next to image hose. We'll put that there. We'll put water and ink in here with that. I usually keep that closed because I don't use that much. This can go wherever you want it. I'm going to have my particle brush here. And then I'm going to go to Window and Media Library Panels, Nozzles. And with my nozzle library, I'm going to drag that out. I'm going to close the rest of that because I don't use it. I'm going to go to the top right icon here and go to Import Nozzle Library. And then I'm going to locate the folder where I exported my nozzle libraries to and select each of those nozzles and import them. And then if we scroll down, you can see that those nozzles were now imported. I'm going to group the particle brushes with the nozzles because that's how I like it to be. Close the navigator, I don't use that. And then all of the other palettes that I had can be found under the window menu. For example, I'm using the reference image palette and then the paper panels. There's also a few that are hiding under brush control panels, like color variability, which I'll drag out of here. I like color expression. Smoothing is helpful to have, as is stroke attributes. Go ahead and close that. Go back to the window menu and composition panels. The layout grid's nice to have. I like to group that with my layers. I don't use channels, so I'll close that. I'll make sure my color picker is set to display as HSV, not RGB. And let's go ahead and fix the shortcuts bar up here. Let's drag that so it's longer here. Now, if you want to rearrange things, let's say maybe this bar is too long for your computer screen, you can hold Shift and you can drag these buttons to reposition them wherever you want. You can even put them in separate palettes if you want to. Same goes for these brushes. You can move these brushes by holding Shift. However, if you drag it outside of the box, it's going to disappear. Next, let's import the brushes, because although the icons show up in the palette, the brushes aren't actually loaded yet, so we have to go to this top right icon in the brush selector and choose Import Brush Category. Then now we can select any of these brushes. Feel free to go ahead and arrange this however you like, because now this is your own custom workspace. And then finally, let's go ahead and export your new custom workspace. So let's go to Window Workspace, Export Workspace, and you can save this as whatever you want. And then should you ever need to restore that workspace and get back all of the palettes and all of the brushes, all of the customization that you did to Painter, you can go to Window, Workspace, Import Workspace, and import that file, and everything will go back to just how you left it. And each time you update your workspace or add to it, you'll want to go ahead and update the workspace file as well by going to Window, Workspace, Export Workspace. That's why I give all my workspaces these dates next to them so that I know which is the most recent version. And I'll just quickly mention, if you're having trouble with your workspaces or any trouble with Painter loading due to a workspace issue, if you want to just reset Painter to its default state, what you do is close Painter and then select the icon for Painter here and hold Shift and continue to hold Shift, double click on the icon, and then you should get this option here that says, do you want to restore Painter to its factory default settings? This will erase any customizations that you've made, including papers, brushes, and textures. Choose whether or not you want to restore the current workspace or all workspaces. So if you're having trouble with the current workspace and it's just not working for you, you can go ahead and erase that. Or if you're having trouble with all the workspaces in Painter and you just want to reset it to its factory default settings and clear out everything and start over, then you'll go to all workspaces. Now, don't do this unless you absolutely want to. This isn't a step in the process of importing and exporting. This is just an extra step for people who may be having issues with workspaces in Painter and just want to clear everything out. So I'm going to click cancel because I don't want to clear out anything. All right, so I hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, take a quick second to like it and share it with your friends. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to click the subscribe button to get updates when I release new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.